Shabbat Shalom, glory and honor to our Father Yahweh and to Messiah Yahweh Shai, who is the high priest that causes all sin to be taken off of us and the Father's righteousness to be placed on us and sealed. Praise the Most High, Father Yahweh. Praise Messiah, his Son, his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Glory and honor to their name. Greetings to the 12 tribes, scattered into the four corners of the earth, having been enslaved, having been former slaves, and who are now awakening to who they are, awakening to their true history, their true background, awakening to, most of all, who their God is, Father Yahweh. Greetings to you. Greetings to the 144,000 who are the forerunners of the return of Messiah and the establishment of his kingdom, who are being used to call Yah's chosen ones out of Babylon. Greetings. And to the precious ones among the Gentiles, Japhet, Shem, and of Ham, who are now the bloodline of Jacob, but who, through the blood of the Messiah, have received the faith of Messiah, which is the Father's perfect righteousness. Greetings to you. Greetings to the chat, Brother Yonah, Brother, Sister Azariah, Brother Arkawan Bayan, Brother Diamond Holdings, Brother Frank Ducatelli. Hey, Frankie here. Yafi, Sister Kyra Cross, Hebrew is Rhonda, Brother Superstar, Brother Ben Beckman and his wife Christy and his family. This is Brother Stephen Kelly. Greetings, blessings to all of you. The Most High bless you. We just left him. That's why I'm running so late tonight. We were just with my dad, hey, Castle King, Sister Wade. We were just with my dad. We was there with him until, I don't know, almost 9 o'clock, I guess, close to 9 o'clock. He is going, I don't know. We're just praying. He just came out the hospital and is in the rehab now. He's in the rehab. He has 97 days where Medicare will cover his rehab. And, the plan is I talk to the administrators there. And the plan for me is to touch base with them after 60 or 70 days to see what his condition is, what his prognosis is. Is he going to need assisted living full time? And so at this point, he was alert when we came in. He was watching the TV. He can't speak all the time. He can't talk all the time. Sometimes he can, sometimes he can't. He's aware most of the time of what's around him, though he can't respond to it all the time. But we're just praying and letting the Most High's will be done at this point. And so I want to thank you all for your prayers for my dad. They've really been a comfort to me. Y'all don't realize how much of a comfort the prayers of the saints are, but they really are a comfort, and I praise the Most High for it. Please remember Sister Isha Shama. She is dealing with chemotherapy right now, so Sister Isha really needs your prayer. Her husband Frank is in the room. Frank Ducatelli is here. His wife is dealing with chemotherapy this week. And please still remember our brother Castle King, who lost his mother recently. Remember him and his family. And then there's Imana Bakas's wife. She's having a health issue also. Please pray for her and her lungs. So please pray for her. So that'd be Imana Bakas's wife. That would be Brother Castle King Ruel and his family. And then, of course, Sister Isha Shama and her husband, Frank. Remember them, if you would, in your prayers, because the prayers of the saints are, by the word and in fact, effectual. So we praise the Most High that your prayers are effectual. The Most High hears your prayers. There's nothing you can do better than to pray. And so we praise the Most High for your prayers and thank you for them. Praise the Most High. Also remember the sister, listen to your body. Her husband, Robert, is still recovering from his stroke. It's been 2.5 years. He's still dealing with the issues as a result of his stroke. As y'all saw, when you were he was in the wheelchair when we were at the Memorial Day weekend. And so, please remember him. Speaking of that, I'm trying to plan for next year Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be here before we know it. And so I'm going to have a meeting about that probably in November. We're going to have a meeting about the 2024 Memorial Day weekend in terms of what we want to do where we want to be. We can be back to the same place or some other place. We'll find out. And if you all come up with some places in the Orlando, Florida area, let us know, right? So we'll be talking about that. Please pray about that as well. Thank you all again for your prayers, the prayers of the saints. And we praise the Most High for the prayers of the saints. Praise the Most High. We have been studying Genesis, and today it's an interesting number that we're dealing with in Genesis. We're in chapter 40. We're in chapter 40 today. Isn't that interesting? We're in chapter 40 today in the book of Genesis. Now, today we're going to deal with dreams. Dreams. Okay. In fact, let's take a look at the word. And let's go to Numbers first. Numbers. And let's get a couple of witnesses here. Let's start in Numbers. And I believe I want chapter 11 or 12. So let's take a look here of the book of Numbers. Chapter 12. Yeah. So in Numbers chapter 12, we're going to read from verse 1. In Numbers chapter 12, we'll read from verse 1, and we'll go from verse 1 down to verse 8. Numbers chapter 12, from verse 1 to verse 8. In the word of the Most High, please, brothers and sisters, if you don't hear anything else from this microphone, hear this. Read your Bible. Read your whole Bible, the whole thing. Eat the whole loaf of bread. Start in Genesis and go through the Revelation. Eat the whole loaf. When you finish, you should be full. Start eating again and keep eating. Keep eating it, because the Most High will bring from your soul, from your spirit, his word that you have read. And it will serve you well in the years that we're about to go through. It will serve you well. Numbers chapter 12, beginning at verse 1, going down to verse 8. Numbers chapter 12, beginning at verse 1, going down to verse 8. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian, or the Cushite woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian, or a Cushite woman. And they said, hath Yahweh indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And Yahweh heard it. Now, the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And Yahweh came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house, and with him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of Yahweh shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So the Father declares that he speaks to a prophet in a vision or a dream. Okay? He speaks to a prophet in a vision or a dream. Of course, Moses, along with Messiah, were the only two. He didn't speak to them like that. He spoke to them directly. Let me say it again. He spoke to them directly, as a man speaketh to his friend. But a prophet will receive a vision or a dream from the Most High. Now, let's look at some other witnesses. Well, same Moses witness. I'm going to go to another witness after this, but let's look at the same witness as Moses. Let's see. I am going to go to Deuteronomy. Let's see here. Let me see. Chapter 13. Deuteronomy chapter 13 gives us a principle about a dream or a vision. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 13. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahweh, your Most High, proveth you to know whether ye love Yahweh, your Most High, with all your heart and with all your soul. And ye shall walk after Yahweh, your Most High, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh, your Most High, which brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy Most High commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. So, a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, if their thing is true, they will be in harmony with Yah's word. Remember what he just said? He said, they have a thing, they had a dream, and it came to pass as they said. But they said they want you to serve other gods. That's to break the covenant. To serve other gods is to break the covenant. So the dream or the vision that someone has, if it's from the Most High, it will be in harmony with his word. It will be in harmony with his word. Be careful when there's something you really want really badly and you dream about it as if you got it, because that is not from the Most High. That's you. That's you wishing you getting what you want. Like I mentioned to you, there's a good friend of mine. He's a brother. He's a Hebrew by blood. He has married 6 women, children of Yafet. And every one of these children of Yafet women that he has married, every one, he said, the Lord brought her to me. Every one. He said, the Lord brought her to me. And he's 5 of 6. He's on the 6th one now. 5 marriages, 5 divorces. But every one, the Lord brought her to him. Because, and I'm not speaking against marrying so-called white women. What I am saying is that's his taste. That's his type. He will not accept anything that's not a white woman, no matter what the Most High tell him. So he keeps saying, the Lord brought her to me. See, be careful when your desires for something is so strong that you will take a dream that sees you are getting your desire and say, oh, that's from the Lord. I remember another brother wanted money so bad, like most people. And he said, I had a dream that that big man gave me the check for the Publishers Clearinghouse. And I knew he was crazy. I looked at him like he was crazy. He said, no, seriously, I had the dream. He gave me a check. Well, he probably did, because he wanted that money so badly. No, when you get a dream from the Most High, it's going to be in accordance with his law, with his word. And generally, it's going to be something in the future that you wouldn't have thought about for yourself. Okay, something in the future that you wouldn't have thought about. Something because we don't know the future, the Father does. And he's showing us something that we wouldn't have thought about. Okay, something you wouldn't have known. Yeah. So, and a lot of us are getting dreams, but we have to differentiate between things that we want versus things that the Father is wanting us to have. Okay. I know before I met my wife, I would see girls. I was basically a young man just coming out of a boy. I might have been 21, 22. And in my young mind, oh, she's so perfect. But what I did do is I prayed. Father, this girl. Nope. And sometimes they would be so fine. I said, well, it's got to be her. Nope. Nope. So pray that the Father's will be done. Pray that you're seeking the glory of the Father and not your own will. Because most of the time, it won't be something you would have chose for yourself. It won't be. And it'll be surely more than one or two or three signs, multiple. Okay. But he will speak to you, and he speaks to me. He speaks to his people through dreams, as well as the word. But the word and the dreams are in harmony. The word and the dreams should be in harmony. Okay? In harmony. So here you saw he declared in Numbers that he speaks in a dream. In Deuteronomy, the dreamer will be telling you to obey God's law, not to go after other gods. Let's go to Job, which is really what we had in the thumbnail, Job chapter 33. Elihu is speaking to Job in Job chapter 33. I'm going to begin at verse 14. Job chapter 33, beginning at verse 14. I'm going to read from verse 14 down to verse 17. Job chapter 33, from verse 14 to verse 17. For the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed. Then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. So he'll talk to you in a dream, but he's trying to withdraw you from doing what? Your own thing. And he's trying to stop you from doing things that your prideful heart wants. But he speaks to you, he said more than once. I think we all can, I know I can definitely relate to that, because when I'm headed the wrong direction, he will tell me more than once. And sometimes even from other witnesses, don't go that way. He'll tell me more than once, don't go that way. Don't go that way. And so but if you're not listening, if you're only looking for your own will, you won't hear it. He says, see, man perceiveth it not. A lot of times people marry somebody. We talk about marriage a lot because it's a big deal. It's a major thing, right? In life, marriage, relationships, major thing. So a lot of times somebody is so desperate to have the person they think they want so bad that the Father will be warning you and telling you no, and you won't hear because you want this person so badly for whatever reason, whether you're lonely, whether you think they're handsome, or we think they're pretty, or they're so fine, and you think you got to have them. You're not going to hear when the Father's trying to tell you no. And he's trying to say no, 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 but you won't hear it. Okay? Especially this happens a lot when a woman is with a man and he ends up being a control freak and he ends up beating you. The first time you seen him, you didn't see all that, or at least you didn't want to, for whatever reason. You don't want to see it. And the Father's trying to show you. And you don't want to see it because you're determined to change him. You think you can change him. That script's been written lots of times. Same with the man and the woman. Oh, she'll learn to love me in time. Listen to what he's telling you, the Father. He will never leave you without a warning. You just don't want to hear it. So he speaks to us in dreams. Job said it. Moses said it. He speaks to us in dreams. And let's look at a couple of prophets who have seen dreams. Of course, we know Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, the so-called major prophets. They've all had dreams and visions. Matter of fact, Jeremiah and Ezekiel start off their book with dreams. Ezekiel chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1. And I'm going to read from verse 1. I'm not going to read the whole dream, but I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse, it is a lot here. I'm going to read from verse 1. I'm going to read from verse 1 to 14, from 1 to 14. Ezekiel chapter 1 from verse 1 to 14. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, I was among the captives by the river Kibar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of YAH. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of Yahweh came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kibar. And the hand of Yahweh was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness that was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. Everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces in their wings. Their wings were joined one to another, and they turned not when they went everyone straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man, and the face of a lion, and on the right side. And they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side, and they 4 had also the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went. And they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like the burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps when it went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. So you could see, obviously, he had a vision. Jeremiah will also bear witness in chapter 1 of his vision. Isaiah had a vision around Isaiah chapter 5 all the way through chapter 7. Okay, many of the prophets had visions, okay, and dreams. Many of the prophets had visions and dreams. The Most High speaks to his prophets through his word and through the visions and dreams that they receive. Okay, and that's why I know, I'm not guessing, I don't have to guess, you all are receiving dreams. Mostly, some of you may not, but a lot of you all are receiving dreams, and you don't know what they mean. Don't guess. He'll show you in time. I had 2 dreams last night. My wife and I have had so many dreams over the course of the years that we get ideas of what we think they mean, but we never know exactly what they mean until they come to pass. We never know exactly what they mean. We think we have an idea of what they mean, but we don't know exactly until it comes to pass. Then we'll know we were warned about it, or we were told about it. And so that happens a lot, brother. That happens a lot. So dreams are a part of Yah speaking to us. Now, in Joseph's case, he interpreted the dreams that the 2 heathen men had. So what was going on there? The 2 heathen men received dreams, and Joseph interpreted. So what was going on? Joseph was the father's mouthpiece to speak to these 2 heathen about what the father was trying to tell them. That makes sense? So Joseph interpreted the dream that the 2 men had. In this case, Joseph became the father's mouthpiece to tell these 2 men what was coming. Now, why? Here's a question, y'all. Why would the Father give dreams to the heathen and let Joseph be the interpreter? What do y'all think? The Bible does show us. Why? What principle of the word shows us that these two heathen men had dreams and the Hebrew was there to interpret the dreams? Why was that? Why was that? Does he speak to heathen like that? Let me understand. Let's get some understanding. What does Zechariah teach us? What does Zechariah teach us? The only reason he focused on the four kingdoms he focused on is because they scattered Israel and Judah, giving us the understanding that it's only involving Israel and Judah. So, who was there? The Hebrew was there. The Hebrew Israelite was there. The Hebrew Israelite that would play a major role in Egypt was there. That's why they got those dreams. And that's why they got them when Joseph was there. Does that make sense? The Hebrew Israelite, and this is the thing with regard to dreams. What are dreams? I mean, dreams from the Most High. This is a message from the Father. Does that make sense? This is a message from the Father. It's a message from the Father, and he's giving it to us in a dream to show us what's coming. It's a message from the Father. That's what a dream is. It's like his word. His word is the voice of the Father. That's his word. It's the voice of the Father. He said, if I have a prophet, I'll speak to him in a vision or a dream. So he speaks to us in a vision or a dream. And when we able to speak the dream or to interpret the dream, what we're doing is we're taking it upon ourselves to speak on behalf of the Father. That's why you must be careful to speak on behalf of the Father. You're speaking on behalf of the Father. You got to be very careful with that. Okay? Be very careful. Very careful. Okay? So the Father is giving his people dreams. He is speaking through his people. And why? Again, let's go back to where we know. Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Messiah Yahushua, which Yah gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of Yahweh and of the testimony of Messiah Yahushua and of all the things which he saw. Again, it's the same reason. So Father is giving dreams to his prophets to show them things that must shortly come to pass. And the prophets and the servants bear witness of what's about to happen, because they got it from the Father. You know, I had a dream a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And in my dream, I was in a room and there was some Spanish speaking people in the room, and they were discussing the word. And I was listening to them. I was in the room and I was listening to them, and I heard them making some doctrinal errors, but the Spirit told me, don't say nothing. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Let them go. And they were looking at the word. And I smiled. And in the dream, I kind of smiled, and I knew, yes, they'll figure it out. They're studying the word. And here I came to Florida years later, and I meet some Spanish brothers that are going through the word. And I'm saying, they'll figure it out. Praise the Most High. See what I mean? I knew in that dream, after my wife and I knew we were going to be taken somewhere away from where we were. I thought it meant going to another country. Little did I know, it was Orlando, Florida. You understand? This was 4 or 5 years ago. And all I could tell my wife, they were Spanish. They spoke Spanish, but they were studying the Bible, and the Spirit just told me, just leave them. They'll get it. Let them read it. I swear, by the Most High's work, by the Most High's truth, by Messiah, by anything that holy, I swear that's exactly what happened. And the brothers that I was seeing are you all. You all know who you are. I've seen, I know, and you know, and I know you're studying the word. And I hear some of the things you're saying, and the Father's telling me, don't worry, they'll get it. Why? Because you're studying the word for the glory of the Father. As long as you're doing that, He's going to guide you in the way you should go. And that came to me in a dream. See? To show me where me and my wife was going to end up. And we did not know it was going to be Florida. Because I had another dream, as I told y'all, where I was arrested and the chains came off, and I was definitely in another country. I was in another Spanish-speaking country, for sure. I don't know which one, but I was, and the Most High delivered me from chains. They were arresting me. But that's another thing that's going to happen in the future. But this one was 5 years ago, and here I am. And that's exactly the point. The Most High will show us in dreams what's about to happen, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. Well, now, Joseph was in jail. Joseph actually, you can read, when we read it, you'll see he started to feel like maybe the Most High has forgotten about him. You know, he don't understand what's going on, but he knows he's holding on by faith. Brethren, there'll be times when you and I feel that way. Has he forgotten about us? Does he know I'm not supposed to be in this situation? What is going on? But he never forgets, right? He never forgets. Zechariah chapter 13. Zechariah chapter 13, going to begin at verse 1 and go down to verse 6. Zechariah chapter 13, from verse 1 to verse 6. In that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land. They shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when any yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of Yahweh. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesied. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he hath prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. But he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman, for man hath taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall say, answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Praise the Most High. See, when we are in the presence of the Father and we are in the presence of Messiah, there'll be no need of prophets. There'll be no need to tell the future. Does that make sense? There'll be no need of messages from the Father to tell us what the future holds, because we will all know, and the Father himself will talk to us. That's what that is telling us. The Father himself will talk to us. We won't need anybody to tell us the future, because we'll be in eternity and we won't have to worry about the future. Does that make sense? This is Isaiah chapter 49. Isaiah chapter 49. I'm going to read it from verse 13 down to verse 16. Isaiah chapter 49 from 13 to 16. Witness number 2. Isaiah chapter 49 from 13 down to 16. Sing, O heavens, and be joyful, O earth, and break forth into singing, O mountains. For Yahweh hath comforted his people, and he will have mercy upon his afflicted. But Zion said, Yahweh hath forsaken me, and my Most High hath forgotten me. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. Thy walls are continually before me. So Father will never forget us. All we have to do is remember that it was Father Yah that sent Messiah to pay the penalty of our sin. It is Father Yah that set up Messiah as the high priest. So Father Yah will never forget us. Although, brothers and sisters, you all know as well as I that there's times in life that we have been through and are going through in the future, well, it would appear that way, that he has forgotten us. He never forgets us. Never forgets us. Praise the Most High. Genesis chapter 40. Genesis chapter 40. Yeah, Stephen Kelly said something very important. That's another thing that happens, brother. Sometimes we'll have dreams, right? And we'll forget the dream until it comes to pass. And like that's where deja vu comes from. All of a sudden it's deja vu, and you'd be like, oh, shoot, I dreamt that. That's what happened, right? Stephen Kelly said, oh, shoot, I dreamt about that. And you have forgotten that you dreamt about it. That's the Most High getting us used to hearing his voice and knowing it's him, right? Praise the Most High. Yes, that's another way it comes also. Praise the Most High. Genesis chapter 40, beginning at verse 1, reading from verse 1 down to verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. And they continued a season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream, one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? So Joseph was in charge of them. These were high-ranking officials in the Pharaoh's court, right? And so Joseph, being the big shot there in the prison, the man put him in charge of these two, of serving them and getting what they need and taking care of them. So now they're sad, and Joseph sees them sad and wants to know what's wrong. Okay, verse 8. Let's read from verse 8 down to verse 13. And he said unto them, and they said unto him, we have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, do not dreams belong to the Most High? Tell me, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and their clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup and gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner, when thou wast his butler. But think on me, verse 14, when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. Verse 15, for indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing wrong, that they should put me into the dungeon. So he's asking, he said, listen, this is what's going to happen in 3 days. And when it does happen, remember me now, because I'm down here in this hole. So remember me when you get out. Okay? So the baker getting confident because he had a dream. Well, shoot, he interpreted that one nice. Let me hear what you got to say about mine. Verse 16. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. And in the uppermost basket was there all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh. And the birds did eat them out of the basket on my head. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the baker among his servants, and restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup unto Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. Well, Joseph is in a jail. He's not happy there, obviously. He didn't do anything wrong, as he said. He interpreted the dreams. They came to pass as he said. And the butler forgot him. Well, one thing, though. The Father did not forget him. Praise the Most High. The Father did not forget him. And so we're going to see tomorrow, by the grace of the Most High, chapter 41, which has a lot of activity in it. Praise the Most High. Chapter 41. You know what the word says, right? It says, wait a minute, let's read it. Let's read Psalm 126. Psalm 126. Psalm 126. It's only 6 verses long. Psalm 126. When Yahweh turned again the captivity of Zion, we were like them that dream. Then was our mouth filled with laughter and our tongue with singing. Then said they among the heathen, Yahweh hath done great things for them. Yahweh hath done great things for us, whereof we are glad. Turn again our captivity, O Yahweh, as the streams in the south. They that sow in tears shall reap in joy. He that goeth forth and weepeth, bearing precious seed, shall doubtless come again with rejoicing, bringing his sheaves with him. Isn't that a beautiful promise, though? So in other words, it gets darkest before the dawn. So here is Joseph. Here is Joseph in jail. Here is Joseph in jail with no hope of getting out, having done nothing wrong. How many brothers have been in that situation? With no hope of getting out, having done nothing wrong. Well, it always is darkest before the dawn. Yeah, many, that's right. It's always darkest before the dawn. Praise the Most High. So tomorrow we will read about the dawn, the dawning of the day. Praise the Most High. We'll read about the dawning of the day. So, yeah, praise the Most High. We'll read about tomorrow will be the dawning. Chapter 41. So it's always darkest before the dawn. And tomorrow we're going to read about the dawn. Praise the Most High. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Shabbat shalom, brothers and sisters. Please continue your prayers. Remember your prayers for Imani Prakash's wife and his family, for Brother Castle King and his family, for Sister Isha Shama and her chemotherapy, and Sister Listen to Your Body husband, Brother Daniels, and his health recovering from the stroke. And again, continue. Thank you for your prayers for my dad. Greatly appreciate your prayers. Please continue that. Praise the Most High Yah. Shalom.